Hello everyone, I'm Nicole, and today we're going to be making Jalapeño Cheddar Drop Biscuits. They're tender, cheesy, a little bit spicy, and the perfect accompaniment to chili, soup, or stew. We're going to start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add 1/2 cup of cornmeal. And I really like the cornmeal in this recipe. It adds a little bit of southern flair to the biscuit, and it's great with a jalapeno. And to our flour and cornmeal, we're going to add a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a tablespoon of sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to give this all a good whisk. Whisking distributes everything evenly, and it requires less mixing of the final batter. And don't worry, I will have the recipe for you in the description. And to our dry ingredients, we're going to add 1/2 cup of cold unsalted butter, about 112 grams. I've already cut mine into small chunks. And you can cut the butter in a variety of ways. Today I'm using a standard pastry cutter. You could also use a fork or even your fingers. Our goal is to evenly distribute the butter and break the butter down into about pea-sized pieces. And while we prep our cheese and jalapenos, I like to toss this back in the fridge just to keep that butter as cold as it can be. And now is a good time to get your oven preheating to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to grate 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese, about 5 ounces. And we have some pickled jalapenos here. We're going to want about 1/4 cup chopped. I like to drain them lightly on a paper towel just to remove any excess moisture. And I do prefer using pickled jalapenos as opposed to fresh because I find the briny vinegar helps to cut through all the starch. And you want to line a large baking tray with parchment paper. We'll measure out 1 cup of buttermilk. And to the buttermilk we'll add 1 large egg. And we'll give this a good whisk to combine. And we'll add the liquid all at once to the dry ingredients. And the mixture will be quite thick. And just as it's starting to come together, we're going to add in our cheese and jalapenos. And simply mix together until just combined. So we want to scoop a generous portion, about 1/3 cup, onto our baking tray. And they don't have to be perfect. And the great thing about drop biscuits is they're easy. There's no rolling, no cutting, just a little bit of scooping. And this recipe makes 12 rather generous biscuits. And in the oven they go for about 15 minutes. You really can't beat warm, cheesy biscuits fresh from the oven. So simple, and they really only take about 30 minutes to have on the table. Absolutely delicious. One of my favorites, tomato bisque. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a great recipe, and we'll see you again.